Established in 2018, the Family Support Network for Employment is a family-led coalition with a fast-growing base of over 300 Ontario families. We advocate for employment opportunities and jobs in the open labor market for individuals with developmental disability who face higher employment barriers. Our vision is to transform employment support practices in Ontario with a commitment to employment first principles, policy, and best practices. Employment as a means of inclusion, real work for real pay across various industries, commitment from service providers to serve clients with diverse challenges and abilities, employment for all, regardless of their disability, scaling sustainable best practices so no one is left behind. In Canada, only 26% of individuals with intellectual disability were working, compared to 53% of those with other disabilities, and much less than 75% of those without a disability. There is a huge employment gap for people with other disabilities and those with developmental disability. In Ontario, despite large investments being made over the years by governments and not-for-profit organizations to serve individuals with disabilities, the current system directs them to traditionally funded programs, such as shelter workshops, day programs, Ontario Disability Support Program, volunteer opportunities, congregated and segregated classes, and activities targeted exclusively to individuals with a disability. 80% of adults with a developmental disability can or want to work competitively, but fewer than 2% of adults with a developmental disability are referred annually to the ministry's employment support programs. The current employment system is failing job seekers with developmental disability, especially those who experience higher employment barrier. And it is because of low expectations, stakeholders with different visions. The system is complex and hard to navigate for families. Employment agencies' practices are not providing the needed supports. Poor employment outcomes for many. But we learned that employment in the open labor market, regardless of disability, is possible, scalable, and sustainable with the right supports. We need a systemic change. So we are working to make sure families become critical thinkers with information, knowledge, and advocacy skills. We are also providing information and knowledge to build the capacity of service providers by reviewing those in Ontario and Canada that are achieving better outcomes for all. Those who set the early expectations for individuals with disabilities, parents, school administrators, employers, and caregivers, usually have the best of intentions. Nevertheless, many unwittingly engage in the tyranny of low expectations, seeing deficits, not strengths, disability, not ability. And individuals with disabilities pick up those messages. When the world doesn't expect much of you, it's hard to expect much of yourself. It's hard to believe in yourself when others don't. We mobilize families to access the employment system by supporting them to expect employment as an outcome for all, to understand the employment system, to ask for the right support, to bring a united voice around change, to make stakeholders accountable, to create demand, to provide needed leadership. We have developed the Learning Path to Employment as a curriculum that provides families with the knowledge and support to develop a vision for their family member that includes employment, and the tools to work effectively with the schools and service agencies to develop a path to employment, and the capacity to advocate for and access appropriate and effective employment services and support. FSNE is working for a sustainable, unified, common voice on employment across communities, so families, through their personal experiences, will be able to effectively advocate for the changes required in policies, funding, and practices to develop a more inclusive model of employment in the province for their family member. Families will hold governments, service providers, and businesses accountable towards employment that is inclusive of people with a developmental disability.